Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Godforge video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the first boss that we encounter in Godforge in the alpha phases that should be a boss when the game launches as well. So most of what I'm going to be looking over now should be pretty should be pretty relevant on launch as well. However, do keep in mind this is the alpha, so absolutely everything is subject to change. If you watch this video a lot further in the future and you see it's different, keep in mind this was recorded during the alpha, so yeah, it's subject to change, so definitely keep that in mind. Now, the boss that I'm talking about is going to be Fafnir, right? The first dragon that we actually encounter, and even in the alpha waves on stage 10, right? Just straight up, stage 10 is going to be the first boss wave where you encounter Fafnir, and it's kind of cool because he does have a really amazing. And you know, let me just go over here and show you the intro, because the intro is pretty cool, right? As he jumps in, obviously, once this is going to be going, once this is going to be going global, I assume that they're gonna have some quality of life so you don't have to watch this every single time and whatnot, but come on, this just looks amazing, right? Fafnir looks just amazing. He has some really cool stuff, and I guess let's go over him. Let's go over his skills. Now this one goes on auto. Some of this stuff I will be able to go over in fight, right over here in the fight, but the other ones I will have to go. Actually, you know what, I think I can go over this one even though I thought I couldn't, because, well, I don't have a Scuddy that steals a divinity, so the boss is gonna get their divinity back. So let's look at the first one. Basic attack, attacks all enemies, deals 150% attack 2 times. Each hit activates Blaze 3 on enemies, which means you're gonna be getting damage. Let's see the first ability, the core ability of the boss, right? Same thing as we have. Dragonfire attacks all enemies, dealing 300% attack, places Blaze 3 on all enemies for 5 turns. This is insane, right? Because it deals damage equal to 6% of the target's current HP to all heroes on the team. That's going to be painful, right? You're going to be getting a lot of damage from this one, so you're going to be trying to cleanse it if you can, right? Or, you know, bypass it or heal harder. So that's the core ability. Then if you look at the ultimate, which happens once his divinity bar goes to full, same thing as it happens for us. Flames of Fafnir attacks all enemies 400% attack, continuously activates Blaze 3 on enemies under Blaze, has until Blaze has been consumed. Fafnir heals himself by 20% of this of his max HP and places Drain 3 on himself for 3 turns and then becomes exhausted. Now this last part is really important because becoming exhausted means he's going to be swapping phases and he's going to be doing different things, which I'm going to be going over. But you know what, let me just stop it off auto for now so he doesn't get there before I finish reading everything, because kind of changes a little bit his passive. Now this is really important to know the fact that, come on, I cannot click it. Let me click it. Okay, I need to leave it now. Let me put it 1x speed. But this one is really painful. If you have the Blaze from the core ability, right, for 5 turns and he does this, you're pretty much dead, because casting this, you know, 5 times 6, that's 30% on each of them. If you multiply that by 5, it's 150% of your HP. You're pretty much dead, right? You're pretty much dead unless you have massive shields or whatnot. This is really painful. So you want to make sure that before Fafnir has the ultimate, you want to make sure that you either cleanse them or, you know, you have a lot lower turns or have some shields to be able to keep yourself alive. Now let's go over to the passive. Frailty of Fire. Fafnir gains 50 divinity when placing Blaze on enemies and gains 5 divinity when enemies are damaged by Blaze. If enemies block or resist Blaze, Fafnir gains 25 divinity. So it's kind of like you can try and block it, but he's still going to be gaining some of that divinity. When Fafnir receives a disable, removes the disable and decreases his divinity by 25. This is doubled when freeze is placed on Fafnir. If Fafnir receives a Blaze, increases his divinity by 100. So this passive pretty much tells you 100% do not want to bring Blaze to this fight, right? You cannot fight fire with fire. At the same time, it's good to try and bring disables, especially stuff like freeze. So for example, in the alpha, somebody like Escadi was a queen over here because she brings freeze everywhere, right? She brings freeze on her first skill, on the third skill, so that's pretty good. Let's go over the next passive. In Rage, Fafnir has 100% chance to place Blaze 3 for 1 turn on enemies when attacking. This chance is reduced by 25% for each unique hero archetype on the enemy team. Fafnir deals 50% increased damage to enemies under blaze. When Fafnir's Fafnir or Fafnir, I might just be keep calling it random, but I guess it's gonna be Fafnir. When Fafnir's turn meter is reduced, he activates Burned to the Core, right? Which means you definitely don't want to bring something that pushes back the turn meter. I thought you could not push his turn meter, but I guess you can do it. And Burned to the Core is gonna be which one is it? Activates Burned to the Core. Oh yeah, he counterattacks, pretty much basic attack. So you definitely want to avoid pushing back his turn meter because that's going to be painful. Okay, and then the last one reduces incoming damage from acid, blaze, and bleed. Then let's see over here, prevents this hero from being defeated in battle. I guess this one just happens because it's the, you know, unlimited phase. And then damage increases by 5% for each ultimate cast. That's for him. Okay, now I guess once he takes another turn, he's going to be doing his ultimate, and then he's going to be swapping over into the exhausted phase, which hopefully should mean we're going to be able to do more damage. But let's get over there first. Come on, boss, do your thing. Hit us. Hit me again. Come on. Let's see. Heimdall goes, then I think Pangu, and then, oh no, the boss goes. Okay, perfect. See, big hit over there. We survived, so that's good. We're going to be counterattacking, and now I think he already swapped into the other phase. Okay, so now he's in the exhausted phase. Let's see what he does over here. Attacks on enemies, obviously a little bit of, you know, localization issues, but increases the duration of debuff by 1 turn on the enemy. Increases Fafnir's divinity by 50 for each debuff duration increase. So if you have any debuffs, you definitely want to make sure you cleanse them if you can, or get your turns so he's not going to be getting big divinity to do that ultimate. Next one, if you look at the core ability, attacks all enemies dealing 200% attack, transfers all debuffs from Fafnir onto each enemy. The chance to transfer is reduced by 25% for each unique hero archetype on the enemy team. So this one's really cool to know because, well, if you have pretty much a Slayer, an Invoker, a Defender, and then a Disruptor, that's 4, you're not going to be able to get any debuffs back, right? So all of those debuffs should be staying on the boss. So it kind of like, you know, opens up the... You know, or at least it encourages people to have a more unique team built of several types of archetypes. So I like that. Okay, let's look at the ultimate. Attacks on enemies, 300% attack. Damage inflicted is increased by 50% if the enemy is under vulnerability 3. Increases Fafnir's max HP, defense, and attack by 5%. For each 5% for each enemy under a debuff and becomes enraged. So this one pretty much does more damage based on the more debuffs you have. And then if he obviously swaps modes from exhausted and goes back into enraged. Let's see his passives over here. Has a 100% chance to place acid and vulnerability 3 for 1 turn when attacking enemies. The chance is reduced by 10% for each unique hero archetype on the enemy team. So again, kind of like, you know, makes you want to have all of the archetypes. Vulnerability is the one that increases the damage you get by debuffs, which is going to be, you know, acid or blaze. So you definitely do not want to have this on you. Luckily, it's only for 1 turn. So if he places that, but then you get the turn, you know, you should be good. Or like if you manage to cleanse it or block it, that should be pretty good. Okay, next passive in this phase increases Fafnir's divinity by 50 each time a debuff is placed on an enemy, which he's going to be doing that a lot. If an enemy resists or blocks a debuff, Fafnir gains 20 divinity instead. So you definitely want to be able to either resist or block it, because it's going to help you to not get into swap back from this exhausted phase. Okay, let's see the next one. Exhausted, Fafnir receives 20% increased damage when under a debuff, which you should be having one all the time. This is increased by an additional 5% for each unique hero archetype on the enemy team. That's it. This is cool, right? It just keeps making us want to have a full team of all different archetypes. Also, when Fafnir's turn meter is reduced, he heals by 1% equal to the turn meter reduced. So I guess you just do not want to bring turn meter in this fight to take it, because in this phase he just gets healed, which shouldn't matter in the Infinity one. But if the game, you know, once the game comes out and this is dungeon, you don't want to have that. And then in the other one, you just pretty much boost him, so you definitely don't want to do it. And I think the last ones are pretty much the same. I think he swapped phases. Yep, he swapped back into the last one, which kind of helps because it shows again, right? If you decrease his turn meter, if you reduce his turn meter, he's gonna attack you a lot, right? He's just gonna keep doing the basic attack, and you don't want to do that. So honestly, this looks pretty cool, right? I really like the look of this boss, and you know, this is just one of many bosses that they should be releasing. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Does Fafnir look cool to you or not? Do you think he looks unique? I like that they have, you know, extremely cool and unique mechanics. I like that it has extremely cool interactions, and it's definitely gonna make for a really fun boss fight, as you're gonna be requiring to bring several things in this team. But I think we can leave it at this. Perfect timing, right? Because the fight just ended. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel to see when I upload next, because I'm trying to post Godforge content as often as possible, even though the game is not out yet. But still, I'm enjoying it, I'm having fun, and I hope you guys appreciate this as well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.